Hey guys, Sundown here. It's going to be my chapter review to Nanatsu no Taizai, or the Seven Deadly Sins 243. Thus he embarks on his journey. Now, last chapter I said it was either going to be Ban, Arthur, or Meliodas. This chapter was going to be focused on, and it didn't turn out to be really like that, but we did kind of get who it was going to be about down the line, you know. So it's going to be about Ban, and I'm really happy about the way this chapter actually progressed, and I enjoyed this chapter. It was really good. I thought, all right, this is going to go somewhere where we haven't really foreseen, and like I don't think anybody thought this chapter was going to end the way it ended. Now, if you haven't read the chapter, please read it before you watch the review, and if you have, let's go straight into it. Ban is going to go to purgatory. Ban is in purgatory at the end of this chapter, and he's like, I'm going to go and steal back the captain's, Meliodas's, emotions from the Demon King, and he's in purgatory, so it's going to be some next level shit. Ban, this is what we've been waiting for. I'll get onto this right at the end of this review, but let's go through the main talking points. So Meliodas says he will become the Demon King so that he can rid Elizabeth of her curse. Now, I call this last chapter, I said there were either two scenarios which were going to occur. Meliodas was going to go to Zeldris and be like, you be Demon King, rid her of her curse, we're sorted. Or he was going to say, I'm going to become Demon King and I'm going to remove her curse for her. So I call this last chapter, and I'm sure pretty much a lot of people did call the same thing as well. But as we know, Zeldris won't just accept this. Maybe even Cusack won't accept this, you know. So I'm not sure exactly how this is going to go. I think Esteros is going to be cool with it. He's going to be like, yeah, you know, you kind of deserve to be the Demon King. But you have to remember that Meliodas still isn't 100% evil Meliodas, you know. He still has feelings for Elizabeth, for one thing. And this could earn him kind of like the anger and spite of his fellow countrymen, you know. So they might not like the idea of like, you might be like back up to just like your prime level. I think even beyond his prime level, he's supposed to be. But you've still got that goddess chick with you, you know. So it's going to be like, we don't really trust you at this moment in time. But Meliodas might have enough strength to just be like, screw you guys, I'm just going to take the throne anyway. But Zeldris is still there, so we have to be careful of that. And there's going to be blood. There's going to be blood between Meliodas and Zeldris just because of the way they interact with each other. And I think Zeldris may not know yet that Gelda, his vampire lady, was slaughtered at the hands of Meliodas. Mind you, she did ask him for it, but Zeldris won't accept it as an answer, you know. So he's gonna be like, hey, you killed my girlfriend. So, you know, I want to see how that goes. But Meliodas, it's not going to be easy for him to just jump in and say, I'm going to be Demon King, we're sorted. Also, I don't think he's going to be able to get rid of his own curse. I think he's going to need someone else at his level. So if, for instance, if Elizabeth was at like supreme deity level, then she'd be able to get rid of his curse for him as well. But I don't think him achieving Demon King status would be able to rid him of his own curse. We then have Meliodas actually saying, he says, tell this to Galtha for me, that the days I had spent with you weren't all that bad. Now, Bochana, or Bochana, however you want to say it, mentioned this on Reddit. Okay, so there's a guy called Bochana, Bochana, and he mentioned this on Reddit, he or she, and I'm inclined to at least be suspicious of what they said. And he says that this could be code for Galtha. It could be a coded message to Galtha, just like it was in the fight between Hendrix and Meliodas. Said something to Galtha, and Galtha kind of understood, we got this. So it's that same thing. A Mel-specific message to Galtha may be a code for, you know, shit's going down, Galtha, I need you to do this, and it may spur Galtha into some sort of like disaster scenario situation kind of action, you know. So it might be something to look out for, and I'm definitely like at least suspicious of this. I'm like, there might be something that he said there. Well, that whole sentence he said might be code for Galtha to like, get your ass together. We need to pull this shit out. So it might be some fun stuff there. King punching the table in this chapter was hilarious. He punches the table and then he's looking at his hand like, shit, that hurt. So I was like, yeah, that's funny. Hawk, we find out in this chapter, is a gateway connecting purgatory to the real world. Now, I was not expecting this. Some mandem and some people were mentioning this point during the Escanor versus Meliodas fight, and I just kind of took it in stride, you know, and I didn't really think too much on it. They said that the Hawk had like the Demon King in his eye, and it was a silhouette that wasn't really Demon King-ish. I just kind of looked at it and I was like, that's kind of a stretch, but they were pretty much right. And I still don't think it was the Demon King in his eye. I just think it was a gate. They were looking into purgatory, probably not right at the Demon King. So the main thing here is, was the purpose of this solely so the Demon King could spy on Meliodas? Now, obviously, this is some sort of tool or design of the Demon King, you know. So it seems unlikely that the entire purpose of this would be just so that he could spy on Meliodas. What would he gain out of spying on Meliodas for 3,000 years or something like that? whilst essentially nothing has happened, you know. Meliodas may have died once or twice, but really all he'd be able to see is the suffering of Meliodas once Elizabeth died, every time she died, you know. So is it just that he might be like some sort of major sadist or some shit? I don't know. So, but the main point here is that the thing that I came to was maybe once the Demon King is back at full strength, he can utilize Hawk to get out of purgatory. Now this would be like, boom, this would be amazingly well done, you know. So once the Demon King gets back to full strength, once he's fed off of enough of Meliodas' emotions, he comes back and he's like, alright, time to get out of here. And he just bops his out of freaking purgatory through the gateway, which is Hawk. Now that would be freaking awesome, you know. This is fail-safe in his plan, you know. It may take me a while to get back, but at least I'll be able to see Meliodas doing what he's doing. I'll be able to see how strong he is and all this kind of stuff. And then once I'm back to full strength, because Meliodas has died like a million times, I can bops out right through Hawk, and I'll just be right next to Meliodas because they're freaking they're together all the time. So that I was like, yo, okay, that's pretty cool, especially if that last point is actually legit. Like he hopes to come back through Hawk. That'd be pretty dope. That would be pretty dope. We got some Merlin backstory. Her father was the elder sage and chief of the capital. What's the capital, you say? I assume he was chief or elder sage of Belialuin. You know, that's been mentioned before that she was from Belialuin, Merlin, and that her father was the elder sage and chief of the capital. A capital would be Belialuin. You know, so also that suggests that, well, it doesn't just suggest. Belialuin seems to have been the capital of the demon clan before whatever was their capital after Belialuin fell. Because Belialuin seems to have undergone some sort of like major crisis, and that's why the Ten Commandments are like, yo, shit, you're from Belialuin, how did you survive and all that shit when they saw Merlin. So I assume Belialuin must have got like absolutely like bombshelled or some shit by the goddesses or something like that, and Belialuin must have just got devastated, you know, kind of like a blitz thing in London or whatever, you know, or Coventry even. So yeah, I assume Belialuin just got wrecked by the goddesses, and he was, before all that happened, her father, we don't know his name yet, was the elder sage and chief of Belialuin. But this guy went into purgatory. He's the only other person apart from Meliodas who Merlin knows of, who's been into and out of purgatory, and he went in for 1 minute and returned mentally broken, old and decrepit. And I was like, yo, shit, this guy, like, he was the elder sage and chief of this demonic capital, we assume. So then you see Merlin kind of like nursing him and stuff, and you can see Chibi Albion's behind Chibi Merlin. So you assume that it is indeed a demonic city. And then she describes purgatory. She describes it as having scorching heat, blistering cold, toxic flesh destroying earth. Space-time is warped, so it's actually, you spend a lot longer there than you would here. So for instance, 1 minute in the real world would be like 100 years in purgatory. Perception is lost, so all manner of perception is lost. You can only rely on your sixth sense, and it's full of monsters and crazy ass souls who've basically just gone apeshit. So when this was all being described, and then we got this build up of how horrifying purgatory is, and that no one can survive its effects because it ages you, like it's too much for any normal person. And then we have the fact that the Demon King is actually in possession of Meliodas' emotions. Then I knew at that point, I was like, all right, this is the time for Ban, the undead bandit, to shine. And it was always going to be him. It had to have been him, because it was going to be his time to shine no matter what. So that's exactly what happened. Because all of these things wouldn't really affect Ban. I mean, he can still get his soul damaged and hurt and possibly destroyed while in purgatory, but that's most likely not going to happen. My guy is immortal, and he's a bandit, he's a thief. So he needs to basically stay alive in purgatory. He's going to do that basically by being immortal, and he needs to steal Meliodas' emotions from the Demon King. He's a freaking bandit. His CV covers this shit, bro. His resume says it all. So Ban is most definitely going to power up in purgatory. Maybe he'll learn something from the lost souls down there, like they'll teach him, like, this is how you kick some ass, Ban. Maybe you should remember the first time you popped up in this series. And so I assume he might learn something from some souls there. Maybe he'll power up from just kicking the shit out of a whole bunch of different souls there for like 10 years or some shit like that. Some like hyperbolic time chamber type stuff, you know. He may even possibly find Kurishus down there. This one, would it be far-fetched to think that Hawk may have eaten Kurishus and it fell into purgatory. Now that would kind of be like, we didn't ever really see Hawk eating any type of nunchucks or any staff or anything like that. So it would kind of be an ass pull, but it's not too much of an ass pull to think that, Hawk eats freaking everything. So he might have eaten it while they were at the Weird Fangs or some shit, and it just happened to fall into purgatory because of Hawk being the gateway to purgatory. So that's basically the entirety of the story. I think the next chapter is called The Chosen Princess. That could be a whole bunch of different things. It might not even follow. It might actually have something to do with purgatory. Ban going down into purgatory, finding some soul, and that soul may have something to do with the Chosen Princess or some shit like that. It might have something to do with Elizabeth's mother or something like that. Who knows? But actually, we assume that was the supreme deity. So no, I don't think it's gonna have anything. It might just focus on where Elizabeth's going and like her being with the demon clan. But I hope we get a huge focus on Bond being in purgatory, because that's gonna be some dope shit. He's gonna get a power up. He's gonna fight some crazy ass shit down there, and he's gonna come into contact with the Demon King, because he's gonna have to rob him eventually of Meliodas' emotions. So let me know what you guys thought of the chapter. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in a bit.